Good morning, I'm Christina from the Cakery, and I'm looking forward to making vanilla bean sugar cookies with you today. We're going to use the KitchenAid mixer, and I've got a paddle attachment, and I'm just going to go through our ingredient list, which I will attach at the end. We have a 1.5 cup softened butter, 2 cups of white sugar, 3 eggs, vanilla extract, about a tablespoon. It's up to your discretion. Then we do 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of vanilla bean. I'm using a crushed vanilla bean that's already been powdered. You can also just scrape a full vanilla bean if you'd like. I would use 1 bean for this recipe. And 5 cups of all-purpose flour. So we're going to start by adding our softened butter to the mixer. You can either leave it to sit overnight on the counter, or you can pop it in the microwave for about 20 to 30 seconds depending on the heat of your microwave. We're just going to put that on about medium mix just to get it softened, and we're going to add our 2 cups of sugar, and you can also scrape down as you go here. Get all the butter in the bowl. Of course, the paddle never ends where I want it to end, so I can mix in properly, so I'm just going to move it. Pour it right in. You don't have to do it in increments. You can just put it all in. And we're going to let that mix till it's combined. I'm going to stop it and just get everything that's stuck in the paddle out, just so our sugar and our butter is really well creamed. Okay, it doesn't have to be completely softened and all gooey. We just want it to be well mixed. And then I'm going to crack my eggs. I'm actually just going to crack them in the bowl so that I don't get any shell by accident in my batter. 3 eggs. You can, my original recipe called for 4, but I really don't want my my cookies to rise that much, and I've found that 3 is actually plenty for this recipe. So again, we're just going to mix. And I am going to pour in my vanilla. I just go 1 gulp, which I call is about 1 tablespoon, but it's up to your discretion how much vanilla flavor you like. So now we have our butter, sugar, eggs, and vanilla all mixed in and nicely creamed. There still might be some lumps. That's totally okay. I'm going to add my flour all in 1 batch. This is 5 cups, and I'm just going to put it right in the middle. You do want to make sure your paddle is out of the way so that you can get it in without making a massive mess. Okay, and then 1 teaspoon. Originally the recipe called for 2.5 teaspoons. Again, the cookies were rising too much and losing their shape. 1 teaspoon is all you need. Baking powder, and then you don't have to add this. This is an optional. This is the standard recipe. The addition is the vanilla bean that I'm adding, which is also 1 teaspoon. You can make lots of other adjustments and add lemon zest and a bit of lemon extract. You can do an almond cookie. You can do more of a gingerbread feel and make some variations there. And I'll try and give you some options at the end for how you can make those adjustments. So now we have all of our items in. I like to add the baking powder and vanilla right at the top. That way I know it's going to get mixed all the way through and not going to lump into one of the wet components at the bottom. We're going to mix this until it becomes a full dough. So we just want to keep an eye on it that it doesn't over mix, because we want to be able to mix our dough as much as possible when we're rolling it out. It's almost there. You can hear the machine starting to work differently. Okay, so now our dough is actually finished, and we're going to put it in the fridge to chill for about an hour. Half an hour at minimum. If you've softened your butter too much, you really want to give it that 1 hour to set. You can hurry it along a little bit if you're in a rush and put it in the freezer for about 20 minutes. But sometimes the outside gets too crusty and the inside is still soft. So I would definitely try and give yourself an hour or longer. You can make it ahead of time, put it in the fridge overnight, and use it the next day. I usually lay out 2 pieces of saran wrap and then put it in the center and then form it into a ball, and we'll come back and roll out our cookies. Okay, we're back, and I've got my countertop prepped with some flour, and I've got about half of the chunk of my dough that I had all wrapped up, and you can feel that it's nice and solid. Well, you can't, but I can. It's nice and solid, and I'm just going to, it is sticky though, so I want to make sure that I have a little bit less tack, and I'm just going to knead it a couple times. I don't want to over knead. Add a bit more flour, and I'm going to roll it out. My rolling pin has just lost its handles because I was too hard on it, but I actually prefer it this way. So this is not a special type of rolling pin. I like big, soft sugar cookies that are nice and thick and not crispy. So if you like thin, crispy ones, just go thinner than what I'm doing. This is about where I would, finish off my rolling. Just going to show you that it's about a 1/4 inch thickness, I would say. Just want to make sure it's nice and even. And I'm going to start with just a couple shapes. Sometimes they pop right out, sometimes they stay in. And because of the nice floured surface we have underneath, they're going to pop right out and go nicely onto my sheet. I'm just using a regular cookie sheet covered with parchment paper, and I've got the oven preset at 400, and I'm going to bake them for 7 minutes. Okay, they're ready to go. Okay, our cookies are ready. So my tip is going to be to hold on to your new tray of cool cookies and grab the hot tray with your mitted hand so that you do not burn yourself when you're making a whole batch of cookies and you're rushing and you hear the oven beeping at you. And they are ready to go. All right, our cookies are ready. Now I don't let my cookies sit on the rack at all. I immediately get them right onto the cooling rack. You can see that we've got almost no brown edges. They're still kind of soft, but they are definitely done. And this ensures that you have a soft, chewy, fully baked sugar cookie.